Your sensors are correct. Do not adjust your heading. You've discovered the Omega particle, streaming to the Alpha Quadrant and beyond. Here's your host, the anchorman of the Federation, the Doctor of Dilithium. This is Jonathan Wiegand.
Welcome to the Omega Particle Podcast. Like the man said, my name is Jonathan Wiegand, with half my brain tied behind my back, just to make it fair, sitting behind the golden OPP microphone, the truth and beacon in the Alpha Quadrant. It is good to be back. I have been gone for, I'd say, a good while. I've been on a little sabbatical, just with everything with work. I know a lot of people out there it's like I've had messages from people, friends on Instagram to even close personal friends, be like, hey, what's going on? We call them family because they're friends at our family. I had a good lifelong friend come up this weekend, and he was like, I would love if I had an episode to listen to on the drive up. And I was like, I need to. And I had one in the chamber, but I recorded it when I was sick and it just didn't sound good. And I didn't want to listen to make everyone listen to that. That would have been terrible. So we got a lot of fun, exciting stuff coming up this fall, but it's a good time to jump in because it's Halloween season. And I am so glad it's here. I love Halloween. We have a 9.5 foot, what's it called, Luna? Luna the intern, everybody. A moon goose? No, not moon goose. Sea snake? No, it's from Beetlejuice. What is it called? Crap, what are they called? Moon snake? Jeez, what is it? Now I have to Google it. Beetle guys. And you're like, I've been on for 3 months and you're going to start off the podcast. It's a sandworm. Are we going to cut that? Nah, we'll leave it. It is good to be back. Either way, I've said that 15 times already in 2 minutes. But it is, it's a joy. And yeah, it's Halloween. So we have a 9.5 foot sandworm in our front yard. We're jazzed. We're all ready to go. I just wish there was a way for adults to go trick-or-treating, but not be weird. If that's a thing, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it would be weird because you're going to get candy from other adults. I guess if they were senior citizens passing out candy. Either way, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about, as you guessed from the title of this episode, creature feature. We're going to talk about the grossest, the quote-unquote scariest. I say that because is Star Trek really scary? Not really, but the most messed up creatures in the Star Trek universe. Last year we did kind of scary episodes and what's the scariest ones. And so this year I was like, let's do creature feature of the week for Halloween. And we'll do a couple more fun Halloween episodes coming down before the big day. But yeah, I wanted to definitely type into this because there's a good plethora. There's a good rich history all the way from the original series, even up to Strange New Worlds. If you've seen it, if you haven't, then yeah. Not going there, but I mean, it's a funny thing because Star Trek is normally so big ideas. It's about space exploration. It's about morality. It's about the hope for the future. But every once in a while, you get some really messed up space monsters that like to cause havoc and horror. And as I was kind of prepping for this episode, I was like, the one episode I would love to see, the Thing episode, where you have this alien that's like an imposter and it's slowly taking down the crew and it's only 1 or 2 people left and you're trying to figure out who's the Thing. And I think that'd been awesome on a spaceship. You could have done so much with that, but alas, I don't think there's any episode out there like that. I mean, that could have been something maybe on Enterprise or Voyager. I'm just not remembering. They are queued up in the rewatch schedule. I just feel like that would have worked really well. So that's my hope. That's my list. If anybody's out there has the power to make that happen, let's do it. So without further ado, let's get this started. Let's get into the creatures, the creepy things in Star Trek universe. And Luna, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. So right out of the gate, we're going to start with the salt vampire. So it's the first jump scare of Star Trek. This is where it all began. Season 1, episode 1 of the original series, The Man Trap. And we're not talking about your ex in college. This is the salt vampire. This is the very first monster in Star Trek history. And this thing looks like a pile of wet carpet, had gruesome teeth, and had some unresolved trauma in its life. And it's so weird because it doesn't drink blood, it drinks salt, and it sucks the salt out of you. And which honestly is kind of like way worse because it's so specific. Could I just take a thing of Gatorade or electrolytes and throw it at it and be like, take it, and then be like satisfied? Like, imagine being killed by a creature that sucks you. I'm not gonna say that. It's a family show, but it's like it wants to lick you, and it has to be a long way to die because it's not like your blood where it's just like always continue letting through you. Like our sodium is kind of, I feel like it's dispersed pretty thoroughly. Like it would take a while to get that all out of you. Either way, we're gonna get down a rabbit hole, but I can understand if you crave like caffeine or dopamine, got it. But sodium chloride just doesn't make sense. And the really creepy thing is it's not the salt sucking, it's the fact that it can like shapeshift into anyone you love. So it's like your dead girlfriend, your ex, your third grade teacher, whoever can get you to like lower that guard. But I think that's terribly creepy because it's like, if I was in a cave and all of a sudden I saw like my high school ex-girlfriend, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, that's immediately, I know that's a trap. A man trap. You see what they did there? I would immediately know that's wrong and it wouldn't make sense. So I feel like it's almost a little off-putting. And especially with McCoy, he was like, oh, Nancy, I've missed you. And it's like, okay, do you really think that Nancy's somehow on this random planet that's out of nowhere? And she's like, oh, I've kind of been looking for you. Like, no, of course not. So I think that's just, again, one of the things we see in Star Trek, especially with Riker, is that you get this mixture of horniness and like monsters, and it gets kind of mixed in there, and it's a tale as old as time. Like we get it forever, and I don't know. It's got a mouth like a meat grinder, and I would not want to meet that thing in a back alley in any way, shape, or form. And moving on to, is that all we want to talk about? Mouth like a meat grinder? Sounds like an insult. You have like really bad teeth or something. I don't know. Moving on to our next creature feature. I just like saying that. Moving on to our next creature feature is the Borg. So these are the space zombies with Wi-Fi. Everybody's familiar with them. We can't do a episode like this without talking about them because they are, it's kind of like, I always like the joke, if your Roomba became self-aware and then joined a cult. Because they don't just want to kill you, they want to convert you, upgrade you, and be like, congratulations, we mutilated your body, but you have Bluetooth. Which might not be that bad, but anyway, you have to respect them because it's absolutely terrifying the way they work together. Every other alien species in Star Trek has the infighting, the betrayal, the weird hats, the ambition, the, backstabbing, etc. But the Borg are like, nah, we're just gonna come together and just have an amazing space communism and maybe have a dental plan. And you can't negotiate with them unless you're Captain Janeway for that one specific time. With this, what was the episode of like the Scorpion, where Chakotay's like, my people, we had the dog and the scorpion was on the back, and it's like, okay, great. I've actually never heard that, but apparently that is a legend that people do tell, and I was like, that's really sad. I don't get more exposure to things when I hear it. I'm like, oh, those writers are very good on Star Trek with talking. I feel like it would be the worst thing because you couldn't make the noise stop. Like you could never turn it off. It would always be on. You can never escape it. And once you're in there, it's just, you kind of have to almost like mentally be broken down and to be a part of this collective, which I think is something they really didn't touch on too much, maybe with 7 of 9 / Annika, but it's like the actual, we focused on, oh my God, they mutilate your body and they put in all these parts, blah, blah, and it's terrible. But the mental aspect behind it would just be infuriating. Now, maybe Picard touched on it a little bit, talking about how they used him to like kill ships at Wolf 359, which was not an inside job, and we're not a shill for Big Federation. I've never heard that before, that it's about like the mental breakdown of just like never being alone, never having your thought to yourself, which would be terrible. And the thing is with the Borg is that they don't really care about anything else except that collective. I mean, look at the ship. It's a freaking cube. It's the least aerodynamic ship ever. It's the least creative ship ever. I mean, even the Romulans are like, hey, put some like wings on that thing, maybe some decals, something. And I was kind of rewatching some episodes of Borg episodes, and it made me think, do you know they don't have any chairs? There's no chairs on a Borg ship. It's all those freaking alcoves. And isn't really that the most evil thing of all? Not being able to sit down? The more you know, I guess. And the little star from NBC. Either way. No, but think about that. There's no chairs with the Borg. Monsters. Absolute monsters. So moving on to, well, I guess we're not moving on. We're staying in the same Voyager Trek universes, and specifically with the Borg is species 8472, or as I like to call it, the soup dimension. Voyager fans, like I mentioned, this is really for you because I think this is probably the grossest one we have on this list, because these guys just don't live in space. They live in fluidic space. And you're like, what the F is fluidic space? And fluidic space is like soup. So it's fluid space. So if you're, I don't even know, it's this goo, I guess. And that to me just seems super nasty. Is that like I know Voyager went in there a few times, at least once, and they were like, oh, it's fluidic space. I'm like, how could you even move? Like, or have like propulsion, I guess. It's be like living in a giant swimming pool of mucus. I would not want it. Plus, these monsters are, according to Voyager, triple helix DNA, which I don't even know what that means. They're indestructible. Even with the Borg are scared of these guys. They're like, nah, we're good. We're not going to deal with them. And I mean, these are just kind of like your stereotypical bad guy aliens. They're big bug heads and long arms, and there's slime everywhere. And if it almost kind of like if a xenomorph from like Alien franchise and a sea monkey had a baby. That's the best way to describe it. And then that baby was perpetually religious and had, again, another cult. What is it with the Borg and these cult enemies? Because they were like you. That's why they're mad at Voyager and the Borg, was that they were trying to enter their fluidic space. And they're like, this is pure, and you ruined it and desecrated it. So we're going to come and kill you and murder all of you. But I'm like, isn't you coming into our dimension making you dirty now? And so now can you come back to your fluid? They don't really, I feel like it's a little bit of a plot hole with the species 8472, but maybe that's just me. And plus they're telepathic. On top of everything, I feel like the Voyager writers are like, okay, they're gonna live in a soup dimension. I was like, all right, they're gonna be religious zealots. They're like, all right, we gotta do that. And they're gonna be really big and strong and powerful. Like, okay. And let's make them telekinetic so they can read your thoughts. It's like, damn, can't you give us a shot? And it's like, well, the only way it's going to defeat them is these tiny nanobots. And they're like, oh, okay, but if they can like read our thoughts, isn't that like, aren't we screwed? Because then you can't really, I don't know. Again, plot holes, digging deep. These writers on UPN in the 90s probably didn't think 25, 30 years from now, some guy in his Star Trek bunker on the East Coast of the United States is going to be dissecting episodes, but here we are. And you know what? We love to do it, and it's a passion. But either way, I just think it's when I hear about fluidic space, I just think it's nasty and mucusy and soupy. But okay, so moving outside of the Voyager realm of the Borg and species 8472, we're going to a fan favorite. Everybody knows about this dude. This is Armus. This is that mysterious, murderous mud puddle from TNG. And to me, I think he is accompanied with the weirdest and frankly dumbest deaths in all of Star Trek history. It is the next generation episode, Skin of Evil. And this is Armus. This is the black sludge monster that kills Tasha Yar, and he looks like somebody had a bad, fell into a tar pit wearing a trash bag over themselves. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Tasha Yar. She was great, very strong, very awesome. She did it with Data, whatever. It's like fully functional. I was like, why was that in the first freaking episode? Like, you think the writers were chomping? Anyway, it wasn't the first episode. It was like the first couple episodes of season 1. But I feel like her dying by an evil oil spill was just kind of like, man. And if it seems weird, there's a reason why. And I'm going to plug my future episode, my past episodes, TNG drama episodes that we have. So what was happening is Tasha Yar. So what was happening is Denise Crosby, who plays Tasha Yar, was kind of complaining a lot. She was like, I don't like these long days. We're not really getting the character development. We're not really getting what we want. And she's like, I'm literally standing behind Jean-Luc Picard and Patrick Stewart for 12 hours a day. They're getting shots in my feet. Why do I need to be here? And I mean, she made good points, but I think she just ruffled too many feathers. And then she's like, well, I'm going to go do movies. And yeah, they wrote her off. And that's where we get Armis. We get this Exxon Valdez spill gaining consciousness and taking her out because she tries to walk around. And this puddle is just kind of mad at everybody for no reason. Even Picard beams down and tries to reason with it, and he's like, hey, what do you want? And Armis is like, I'm evil. I'm like, okay. It sounds like the weird goth kid in middle school. You know, I'm just so evil. Like, who talks like that? Anyway. So that, I guess that's just his whole thing. He's just going to be like, I'm evil and I'm going to brood about it. And I'm like, okay. He's got an attitude problem. And that's it. And everything's kind of echoey with him. And I don't know. It's just, I would say credit where credit is due. It is creepy in the cosmic horror type of way. Like, you're pure malice. And there's no logic. It's just pure hatred. And I mean, I get it on this, like, the deeper level. I'm like, yeah, that is kind of crazy because that darkness hates you for existing. Or you could think about social media, or the comment section on pretty much anything. But it's, I mean, for a philosophical way, like, oh, that is scary, that is dark. But on another way, it's lame because it's a giant oil spill, and I feel like they just needed some way to kill off Tasha Yar, and they did. Congratulations. So who knows? Maybe if Denise Crosby played her cards right and was super chill and whatever, maybe we wouldn't have gotten the giant oil spill. But TNG was so freaking sexist at the beginning with how they treated Gates McFadden, and it's just, yeah, it's a long story. I would highly recommend listening to that TNG behind the scenes drama episode because there's a lot, and I'm glad they eventually rectified it with Gates and brought her back. And yeah, we needed the dancing doctor. TNG would not be the same without her. Okay, oh geez, Luna, who wrote this? Are we going back to Voyager? We are. Oh, okay, the Vidians. Okay, the Vidians are actually legitimately terrifying because they steal your organs. So if you've never watched Voyager before, this is kind of body horror in a way. So there's a people, and they're called the Vidians, and they're dying from this disease called the phage. And it's basically space leprosy. And so their solution is, hey, we're just going to steal other species and people's organs and input them into us. So they all look all kind of, have you ever seen Jeepers Creepers? It's kind of what it looks like. They're all kind of like patched together, and they apparently have different lungs and organs. And I think they steal Neelix's lungs at one point, or Tom Paris's lungs in Voyager. But it's like, they're kind of just like, I don't know, like a clearance section at Target at the end of the aisle. There's just a bunch of crap in there, and somehow it works. Sometimes you find deals. I just think, and the weird thing about these Vidians is that they're so freaking polite about it. Is that, you know, they're like, hey, by the way, I hate to do this, but I need your kidneys because I'm gonna die and I don't want to. So give me them kidneys, and then they take them without. I mean, I guess they have some remorse to depend, but they're just like this, I guess I could say, a plague that won't go away on Voyager. They're always popping up. Voyager didn't want to do the holodeck, which we will get to the holodeck in a couple minutes. But they didn't want to start rolling out the holodeck thing, so like, we need another villain. And they're like, let's do these Fidians because they're scary, right? And I mean, they freaking are if you think about it, because that's kind of nasty and gross. It's like a walking parts depot. That's how they view us. And eventually they cure the phage. That's a big thing. Is that right? I need to rewatch Voyager. It's been so long. But yeah, that's kind of the most, if I was in a spaceship, those are the people I would not want to see. Like Klingons, sure, you know what they're about. Like they're about, okay, they're honor, they're going to conquer, they're the Romulans or whatever, or even the Borg. But like the Fidians, like that's just like effing messed up, because they're just going to be like, well, need your spleen, take it. That's a terrible way to die. As opposed to, well, I guess it's all bad, like compared to oil spills or the Borg. Moving on from Voyager, I think that's our last. No, it's not our last Voyager episode. What the? Why is there so many of these from Voyager? Okay, the last one from Voyager is legit, because that is creepy. So we're going to leave Voyager and we're going to go to the original series, the Horta. So the lava rock of emotion. And if you don't remember the Horta, it's from the episode The Devil in the Dark. It's this big lava rock monster crawling through tunnels, killing miners. Spock sees it, does a mind meld on it, and realizes, oh, she's a mom. She's trying to protect her eggs. It's more of a random creature feature because it looks like someone, the costume literally looks like someone threw mashed potatoes on a guy and then like put a blanket over him and just told him to wiggle and walk around, which could have been legitimately the costume. Is like somebody on all fours and they just throw a blanket on them and then they're like wiggle around, bro. But that's it. I mean, it worked. That was the magic of the 60s. The original series, TOS. There was no CGI. There's no budget. Just pure imagination and a dude sweating under a blanket. We've all seen the picture of like the dog with the unicorn costume on its little head. And yeah, that was just, that's how they did it back then. No money and got to make it fun and interesting. And we're going to spend all, and I mean, to be blunt, all the budget is going to harps and 3D chess sets anyway. So good luck for your creature features. But yeah, so this is like a PTA president mom. She's just trying to protect her kids. And classic Kirk is like, we gotta destroy it. And Spock's like, hey man, single mom, probably not a good look. Go killing single moms and that thing. And then and then once they learn that everybody's cool, everyone backs off and be like, yeah, we overreacted. Sorry we tried to kill you. But, that's just cool. And that's what I love about TOS. Like, every monster is either misunderstood or lonely. And it's always solved by a 5-minute speech and then maybe an awkward handshake. Like, the TOS is this perfect, episode closure each time. Is that you don't really ever have any of arc storytelling that we see in DS9 or even a little bit TNG. Okay. Is this the last one, Luna? Please. Okay, this is the last one from Voyager. But this one actually deserves it because it is freaky as heck if you've seen the episode. And we're talking creepy because I think clowns are creepy just to begin with. And I know ever since I read it, probably 8-9 years ago, I read it. Ever since then, I was like, I don't like clowns. So this is from the episode The Thaw. And oh my goodness, it is complete nightmare fuel. And it's a clown, and he's playing. Well, first off, he's played by Michael McKean. And you're like, who the is that guy? That's the dude. Best way to describe it is Saul Goodman's lawyer brother from Better Call Saul. That's the I know he's played in a bunch of stuff, but that's all I know him from. So wow, top-notch research from the team here at OPP. But so he's basically the embodiment of fear himself or itself. It is a holographic nightmare that tortures people's minds and makes him go crazy. And what's weird is that it's kind of like this play carnival type of thing where everyone's dancing and giggling and singing show tunes, and it's kind of under the threat of if you don't do this, you don't go along with it, your brain's going to be deleted. And it's like if speaking of it, if like Pennywise went to clown college and majored in philosophy, like it's a little bit higher brow, which makes it also creepier too, because it's not like there's a logic behind it, there's a reason behind it, there's a moral behind it. Well, I wouldn't say moral, but there's an essence behind it that's just not like Arnis. Yeah, it's like him. That's like, okay, well, he's just evil to be evil. It's like, no, he feeds off the fear. He likes that because he likes, the power that it gives him. And which is very deep in a way, because it's like, what are we afraid of? What causes our anxiety? What causes us to freak out and fear? And I mean, that is true. I mean, stress does terrible things to the body. So if you constantly are stressed, constantly have anxiety, like it does take its toll on you. So there is some truth to that. So we have to overcome that. And, but still, like, I would not go to a carnival after watching this episode. It's very creepy. Dear God, we almost lost Harry Kim in this episode. But yeah, and if you think about it, like, I was watching this episode and it's like Janeway, I don't know if it's a theme or what, but always I feel like has to outsmart some computer program that's basically somewhat of a stand-up comedian. I don't know. And at some point you think, maybe Post. And you think at some point Starfleet would put more boundaries and safety protocols in these programs, because that leads us directly into our last creature feature. And it's not a creature, it's a feature, and it's the holodeck. That is the most dangerous room, and it's scarier than any alien. It's scarier than any PTA mom or black trash bag or anything, because it malfunctions every 3 episodes. Every time someone says computer admin program, it's just like that awkward silence, and then the computer's like, error, and then you're suddenly stuck in the 1920s Chicago, and this mobster's trying to shoot you in the face. It's like if the animatronics at Disney World just suddenly came alive and tried to kill you. It's weird. But it's that way if the animatronics came alive and then everybody kept going back to the park and being like, well, that was just a one-time thing, and the safety protocols are up. Yeah, sometimes it goes off and kills people. Mickey goes nuts, but you know what? It's worth it, though, because we can still have our sex programs. Let's be blunt. That's why the holodeck would be popular. You may do the Battle of Britain, and you may do the Alamo, and those are DS9 references. We've never seen DS9. I'm not pulling out my butt, but I feel like that's what Quark did. Vulcan Love Slave. That's why he made all that money. He had the best freaking holodecks in the quadrant in DS9 because it made him money. And I feel like it's you get all these weird effing programs, and that's it. Maybe it's all these people, these weird stuff. We're going down a rabbit hole I didn't think we would be going down. But I feel like that, to me, if I was in a holodeck program, I would always want to maybe doing a program that nothing bad could happen. Like, oh, let's have lunch at the pyramids. Okay. Oh, the safety protocols are off. Oh, I'm going to get a sunburn. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm base jumping off of Kilimanjaro, or can you do that at Kilimanjaro? But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, if the safety protocols are off, I'm dead. Yeah, thankfully it's not. I'm sorry, I just got really distracted because it took me back to that Voyager episode where B'Elanna's like trying to skirt death and she's taking out the safety protocols, and made me think like, oh, well, if you're doing that, it's like, oh, if you have a mental health issue, you're kind of going a way to kill her. Okay. Yeah, again, did not mean to go down the rabbit hole of the holodeck here, but I feel like that's still the scariest thing, because every ship has one. Every crew, I feel like, has somebody that's either died or nearly died in one. And everyone's just like, yeah, they're so great. Let's go look at, let's have a play inside of them, or go to a jazz club. And I feel like that is humanity in a nutshell. Like, we invent this murder holodeck, but everybody keeps using it because it has really great mini golf. And well, let's be real, they're using it for other programs that I can't talk about because it's a family show. But I think that's the real kicker and the real scary thing is that if I was on a Federation starship, would I use a holodeck? Probably not, because it would be cool, but it'd be tough because, again, when Goofy animatronic tries to kill you, it's like, am I really gonna dip my toe back into that water and roll the dice again? I don't know. We did have some honorable mentions. So of course the Gorn. So the Gorn aren't really that scary. Not the 1967 version. I mean, it is kind of like, okay, it has a silly hat and you can karate chop it and throw stones at it, sure. But I feel like the newer Gorn from Strange New Worlds, like, that's legitimately like freaking scary. Like, I'd hate to see that and meet them in a dark alley. 'Cause, I mean, you have the whole 9 yards. It's like the screeches, the shadows. It's just it progressed from a guy in the suit to a xenomorph nightmare. Like, it's just crazy the kind of character development they've done with it. And the next one, of course, is with the original series of Wolf in the Fold episode, and the villain from there. It's like how can I say this? It's like Space Jack the Ripper, but it's an energy being. So this being travels through space, processing people and murdering for fun. I think this is the next level evil. And of course, Kirk's got to take him out, and they try to arrest an invisible Victorian serial killer, and he's powered by bad attitudes and bad vibes. But I mean, it's a Star Trek for you. So I mean, that's an honorable mention, those two. But really, I feel like we covered a lot of the heavy hitters. Even I know the holodeck isn't a creature per se, but it is effing like terrifying. Like, I would not want to mess with that. But that has been, that's been our creature feature. And I'll wrap it up saying, Star Trek, the best thing about the horror in Trek universe is that it's never really just about the monster. It's about the idea that fear, even if it's in soup space or silly or telepathic, it is something that we can try to understand. Even the salt vampire, the Horta, Borg, they're just mirrors for all of us. And that show us what can happen when we lose our empathy for one another, we lose our identity, or we lose our hope. And again, that's what makes Star Trek so freaking good. Even the monsters are trying to teach us a lesson. And for real, what did Armin, the puddle's talking now, like, damn, like, but if I came up on something and I saw, I'd like freaking shoot it, photon torpedoes that sucker, because I'm just not messing with that. But anyway, that has been our creature feature special. Thank you so much for listening. And Luna, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Thank you so much for listening. That has been our creature feature, and we are going to be releasing our DS9 review episode next few days by the end of the week. So again, thank you so much for listening and supporting us. Even though we have not been producing new episodes, our listener rate is still like 500 listen hours in a month on YouTube, which is nuts to me. If you have any ideas for episodes, you have any ideas you may want to see for interviews, you can reach out to us on social media at Mega Particle Podcast, OPP Trek. We're pretty much on everything, and we try to post pretty frequently. So we'd love to hopefully make you laugh, hopefully bring a little bit of lightness into your day. But it's been good. I'm super pumped for Halloween. I don't know. One of these years I should go as somebody from Star Trek, but I don't know what I would go as. Maybe like Kirk or something. But either way, thank you again so much for listening, guys. And remember, I know it's kind of getting into a little bit in the seasonal depression kind of stuff, but take care of your mental health out there. Don't lose your empathy. Don't lose your hope. Don't lose your identity. Don't lose the thing that keeps you going. Because whether that's, we find a lot of that stuff maybe, and for me, being a Christian is a big thing in that, and relying on Christ. But I know a lot of people don't believe in that stuff. But yeah, take care of yourselves out there, because it's rough. And I want everybody to be okay. But as we wrap up, thank you all so much for listening. And without further ado, second star of the right, straight on till morning.